Hello, I'm Christine, and Stranger Things Season 2 is out on Netflix. So if you don't know about Stranger Things by now, I don't know where you've been. I feel like the world is now obsessed with Stranger Things. When I made the video about Season 1, so many people still didn't even know what it was. Now it's literally everywhere. Everyone ever has been binging it. And I just finished it! I'm gonna do a little non-spoilery section here where I talk about what I thought, and then I'm going to go into the spoilery discussion. I tried to be 80s today. Am I 11 yet? Season 2 had a lot more going on. We had more balls in the air. We delved a little bit more into the characters that we hadn't really delved into in Season 1, like Lucas and Dustin. It's hard to put my finger on which season I liked better. The season was a lot of fun. It had a great soundtrack. It wasn't as scary. There's one episode where it had some jumpiness, but I watched the last 3 episodes by myself at night. I could not do that with Season 1. I'm gonna give Stranger Things Season 2 an A-. Maybe I did like it a little less than Season 1, because I think I gave Season 1 an A+. You know what it didn't have? It was great, and there was so much going on, and I was excited about it in Season 2, but in Season 1, there was this air of mystery and conspiracy that I really loved that you couldn't have in Season 2 unless you had a completely new plotline going on. But we hadn't completely wrapped what was going on at the end of Season 1. We still had this rift to this other dimension, and these demigorgons were still coming through. At the very end of the Season 1 finale, Will's family's at Christmas, and he goes to the bathroom. He coughs up this disgusting, sluggy thing from the Upside Down, and then the Upside Down flips on and flips back off, and it leaves you like, The end of Season 2 doesn't leave you feeling like, oh shit, there's more. It ends feeling like, oh shit, is that it? Or is there more? They left it like this. That's all I'm gonna say in this non-spoiler section, because I just want to talk about everything I just watched. Go ahead and watch Season 2. It's 9 episodes this season. Obviously, all on Netflix. Is a Netflix original series. Goodbye, non-spoilery fall. Bye. Okay, so I'm about to spoil Season 2. Do not stay if you have not watched it yet. Okay? Okay! So Season 2 opens with this new group of characters in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's revealed that one of the characters is number 8. It's 8. We're led to assume, obviously, that numbers 1 through 11 must exist, and if they're going to expand on Stranger Things, I would expect them to go down that road. 8 would become a part of the plot, you know, and I don't know whatever other numbers we happen to stumble upon. I don't know how much I like this subplot. If I'm gonna be honest, like, my least favorite part of Season 2 was episode 7 when we went with 11 to go find her sister. I was afraid her sister was gonna manipulate her, and I know she taught her how to use her power more efficiently, but I don't trust 8. I loved when 11 finally kind of came to her senses in that moment where she saw the picture on the floor with the guy and his family, and she didn't let 8 kill the guy. You know, she flipped the gun out of her hand when the police came to their hideout and they were escaping in the van, and she just decided, no, I gotta go home. Like, my friends need me, and that's my home, not here. There were 3 different places where someone told 11 that she was home. I mean, first was with Hopper. I love what's going on with 11 and Hopper. I love that he's going to adopt her and everything's adorable. And then, of course, she goes to where her mom is. Seeing her mom in that rocking chair just repeating the same words over and over again. Whenever she looks at 11, and 11's like, it's me, Jane. And she's like, scared the crap out of me. But we got more insight on that relationship. I assumed that her mom had lost her mind before she even had the baby, because in Season 1 we see her being experimented on, but we see in Season 2 that I guess 11 was taken away from her, and it wasn't until 11 was like a toddler that she found her and tried to get her back, and then the scientists blew her mind up. I wonder if in the future, 11 might find a way to break the loop that her mom is stuck in, because that's an unresolved issue that we've got going on. When she couldn't talk to her, and then she was like walking around with her aunt, and the lights started to flicker, it creeped me the frick out. To think that she can't talk to you, but she's there and she could hear you inside. scary. I was fine with the side plot when she went to her mom, but then her mom told her to go find her sister, and then things started just like, we left everyone we know and love. You know, it was like a full episode where we follow 11 and don't go back to any of the other kids. 8's powers are really interesting. It just makes me wonder what the other numbers can do if they're all still alive. That's where we would expand with this, but the show would be significantly different. She closed the rift now. I mean, yes, there is a dead piranha plant monster in Will's refrigerator. I don't know what they did with that. I didn't like the body being there. I know Dustin insisted that this is science and you need to preserve it, but I was like, no, you should set that bitch on fire. I don't want that here at all. Let's move on to our characters. So after we have this whole sister opening where she manipulates the cops' minds so her and her gang can get away because they just killed one of the bad men, we go to Dustin, and Dustin's plotline running through season 2 is that he finds this lizard thing in his garbage can. Now, I don't know what you were thinking, but I immediately was like, that is clearly a fucking Demigorgon. Do not touch that lizard. I didn't even want him to open the garbage can. It rattled way too hard. I just was consistently telling him not to do shit, and then they just did it anyway. They just like put it in a cage and fed him Nugget, gave him a name, and I was like, you better raise him to be loyal and fight for you in the war. And it does seem like these flower things are like creepily intelligent, but the question is, how much of their mind is under the control of the big shadow monster thing? We see in that one scene when they're trying to escape through the tunnels and they're stopped by Darth. He feeds him Nugget and Darth lets them pass. Why would he let them pass if he didn't have any mind of his own? How much power, what are they? They're so confusing! In general, the demidogs reminded me of raptors, and I don't know why no one was drawing that conclusion. Oh, Jurassic Park didn't come out yet in 1984. Not thinking. Anyway, first episode, I love the shot in science class where the teacher comes down and is like, this is the human brain. And there's a wide shot of the class's reaction and Dustin is just like, it's so cute. Let's talk about Steve, because somehow Steve has become my favorite character. Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't love him in season 1. I'm a sucker for like a fantastic arc, and Steve has just had the best arc. He goes to this Halloween party with Nancy. He's trying to stop her from drinking anymore because she's clearly super out of it, and she tells Steve that she doesn't actually love him, and it's just so sad because Steve is clearly in love with her. My heart. I love what's going on with Steve and Dustin. I just love this weird big brother thing. It was so cute when Dustin has his code red and his pet Demigorgon is like on the loose and he can't get a hold of anyone. Oh my god, I felt so bad for him. It was so frustrating. I'm so glad he stumbled upon Steve and they had such a nice heart-to-heart as they were setting the trap to talk about the hair and the Farrah Fawcett hairspray. Dustin's hair at the end was so cute. See, the end of this season felt like an end. It felt like the cherry on top of everything. I was perfectly good with it. We had 11 and Mike reunited, and then Max and Lucas. Everything was great. And then like the camera started to shift and turn upside down. The shadow monster was down there, but like that's where he belongs. So were we just seeing that like it's still there, like it exists on a different plane and it's closed, or were we seeing something like, oh, he's angry and he wants to murder everybody and he's determined to take over our dimension? What was that? It's left open to interpretation. I just interpreted like, boom! That's the end. Ta-da! But you never know. The first episode that was super crazy and actually scared the crap out of me was the episode where Dustin and Steve were laying down the meat along the train track to bring the Demigorgon to the bus. Let's talk about Will. This kid, this poor baby. I don't know why anyone ever leaves Will alone ever. Like, don't let him out of your sight. He's having these episodes where he like gets stuck in the upside down, and the only way he comes out is when someone from the regular world kind of touches him and shakes him back in. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Why do you ever take your eyes off of him? That scene at school when Darth got out. Of course they split up because that's what we do in American shows. Everyone splits up, no matter how dangerous it could be. Of all the people not to be split up, it should be Will. Someone go with Will,
okay? Because he has episodes.
You saw it happen at Halloween. You've seen it with your eyes. He needs a buddy. Okay, I love Bob. He's great. He has great intentions, super nice. I knew he was expendable, though. We all knew at the end Bob was gonna risk his life and Bob wasn't gonna make it. Bob was telling him about how in his nightmares he used to see this scary clown or something. He stopped and told the clown to go away. And I knew that was bad advice, because what Will is seeing is not a clown in a dream. It is real life. That moment where he stopped and turned and the shadow monster was after him and he said, go away, was mortifying. All of a sudden, it was like going through him, and then the episode ended, and I was like, no! It had to be Will again. We couldn't just let the kid be okay. He obviously wasn't. He threw up a slug, baby Demogorgon, like, oh God, those snakes that were inside of him must have been like, pregnant, and that's how it like implants the babies, and then ew. Okay, I was talking about this bus scene where they set the trap and they're in the bus and then a Demogorgon shows up and they have this whole fire thing ready, and Steve decides he's gonna go out there and lead the Demogorgon to the trap because he's not taking the bait. He's been all noble because he's protecting the kids, and then there's another Demogorgon behind him, and I flipped my shit. I was watching this episode with Natasha and we were both like, no! Just slapping each other. And also there's like a billion of them. It was just like Jurassic Park. They like talked to each other and then they left them alone. Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park. It was Jurassic Park. So last season, 11 poofed into a puff of smoke and she was destroying one Demogorgon, right? And then we see in episode 2, she poofed right into the Upside Down. And she was just in the Upside Down version of the high school. She saw a leak. It was like this little hole. And I was like, yeah, go through it. Hurry up, go through it. It's gonna close. Instead of just like going through it, because she couldn't fit through that hole. She widens the gap. She makes a big tunnel that she could just walk through. What are you doing? We don't want the world. We don't want it more open. We need to close it! Ugh. 11 is living in the woods with Hopper in this old cabin. It's really cute, except 11's had to keep cooped up in this cabin for like 265 days or something. He's super overprotective of her because of what's happened and because of the way he's flawed, and he's so nervous because he doesn't want to lose another person that he's taken in and cared about. I love the talk he had about how he feels like he's a black hole and he just sucks everything that gets close to him in and destroys it. That scene where 11 got mad at him and just flipped out and was using her powers, I was so scared for Hopper. But something I really love about him is that he never backs down. This 12-year-old girl is having like a tantrum and he could have easily just shut down because he was scared, but no, you're punished. No TV. No, you're grounded. And she just kept going. No matter how much shit she threw at him, he did not back down. They were both wrong, and I'm really happy about how it resolved and the talk that they had in the car when she finally came back looking like a badass punk. Back to Will. Last season we didn't see him much, right? This actor didn't get to do much. This season this actor had so much creepy shit to deal with. I mean, the seizures alone when he's just standing there and the things going in and out of his face was insane. The coloring, all the endless scribbles when he was drawing the tunnels. They had to perform an exorcism on him. Oh my god, before that even, when he was in the hospital bed and they were burning a strip of the snaky stuff and he was dying on the bed. That was horrifying. At that point, I was like, wow, I think Will might be a goner. But we found a way to exorcism the thing, and that was a horrifying scene as well. It was scary, but like, I knew it was gonna work, because at that point, we've gone too far for Will to die. So back to the bus being attacked by all the raptors. The one climbs on top of it, and Max is looking up, and it's right there, and she screams, and it's so scary, and then all of a sudden, they get called away. Will had told the guys that the weak spot is at the center of the maze where all the tunnels converge. All the scientist men had made their way there. Like a second before it happened, a second before everyone else realized, it was like, oh my god, it was a trap. He lied! He lied! And then Will says, I'm sorry. And everything blows up. We start running to try to warn them that it's a trap. They don't get there in time. Demi-dogs are already on their way. It was crazy. It was such a good scene. And then that episode ends on such a cliffhanger, and we go to 11 and we have that whole sister episode. And I know we had to see what she was doing, but the train was full steam ahead, and then it was like, wait, sister episode. Oh my god, we have to talk about Nancy and Jonathan. You know, now that I love Steve, I felt kind of bad about Nancy and Jonathan, but I really love the scene when they went to talk to the detective conspiracy theorist, Murray. They went to talk to Murray, and he asked them if they wanted to stay over. His straight up analysis of everything going on in their mind was so fun. I love the next morning when they're at the table with him and he's like, oh, how was the couch, Jonathan? How was it? Like, I'm glad that they're together and I'm sad for Steve. So we got this new character, Maxine's brother, and he scares the shit out of me. You never know when he's gonna go off, and he's got this horrible dad who's turned him into this horrible asshole person. I hate his hair, and I just like, and we didn't really get resolved with him. Can we talk about Mike and Nancy's parents for a second? Most negligent parents of the year award goes to Mike and Nancy's parents. Congratulations, guys. Every second I was like, are the parents just like, where's Nancy's parents? Like, Nancy's like off with Jonathan, like sleeping over at a random guy's house. Ooh, nobody cares. And there's the scene where Dustin comes to the house. Mike's dad opens the door. I have a cold red. Where's your son? He's not here. Where's Nancy then? I need to talk to Nancy. My children do not live at the house any longer. Like, they know nothing. They're just so dumb. Here's Winona Ryder, right in the thick of things. She knows everything. She believes everything. She's just, like, right there from the very beginning. You know, she, like, knows something weird is going on and she's on board with it. And then there's Mike's parents, who's, like, the extreme opposite. They know nothing. They were right in the thick of it. Like, 11 was in their house. They don't believe anything. In their own little bubble. The scene where Winona Ryder's talking to Will and trying to get Will to emerge and tell them how to kill the monster was so intense and so fantastic. When you see his hand tapping out the Morse code on the leg of the chair, and oh my god, when the phone rings and he knows where they are, it was so good. And I loved, like, Dustin kind of leading the charge using the manual for Dungeons and Dragons. He finds the Mind Flayer and they start using this whole big analogy to describe what's going on. Through the Morse code, Will tells us to close the gate. The demi-dogs attack. 11 has her grand entrance. See, I think 11's grand entrance would have been so much more powerful if we had the entrance before we knew she was coming back. I don't know, maybe if we didn't even have that sister episode then, if we had it after, I don't know, the sister episode, it's up in the air for me. Like, I can't figure out, it didn't ruin the entrance, but it would have been much cooler if I didn't expect it, because I did. I was like, 11's coming, 11's gonna stop them. That's what's gonna happen, and then it did, and I was like, it's 11. And then it was like slow motion of her feet, and I was like, no, can we just see her face, because I know it's her, it's 11. And Will said to close the gate, and the only person who could close the gate was 11. When we got that direction, I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? Close the gate. Like, close the gate between dimensions, and you didn't give us any instruction. Like, okay, now I need a point-by-point list of how to do that. The whole closing the gate kind of confused me. As she was closing it, right, we see the thing on the other side, and it's kind of confusing. Like, why doesn't it tries to come out to stop her from closing it or something? I don't know. And then they close it, and they're in this cold, dark area where the floaty things are floating around. So I thought by closing it, they got stuck in the upside down. But then we skip forward a month, and everyone's fine and at the dance in Hunky Dory. That, I don't know, I feel like that scene in my head just didn't completely settle. The upside down is just, like, obviously something that we don't completely understand. And when she broke it open, she had to be in the water in her zone with the blindfold. But when she closed it, I guess she's just more powerful now, that she could just stand there and, like, harness that power through her anger. These are little details I'm picking at. I just want to talk through them because they're in my head. And, like, my other big thing about that was, like, why haven't we already asked 11 to close the gate? Don't you think as soon as it opened and, like, Demogorgons walked out, we would think to have 11 close the gate? I guess not. Like, I guess it just didn't dawn on anybody, and maybe they wanted to do research on this weird gap, but once it started infecting the town, I mean, close the gate. When Hopper almost died in that tunnel, oh my, when he was digging the hole to get to that root, I was like, do not go in that hole. Do not go down there. He goes down there. Great. Then he passes out and the hole closes up. When the kids went down there to set the fire with John Ralphio and with Steve, I was like, please don't. Please. They do. They have a rope that hangs down. Like, I was really afraid it was gonna close up. I'm kind of confused. Like, does it have to register that there is a hole to have closed up because it registered it when it squirted Hopper in the face with its like poisoned crab, and then it closed up, or the whole stayed open for them and it closed for Hopper, and I'm just like, why? Is it just part of its self-awareness and it didn't realize that it was open for the kids, or is it because there was a rope there so that maybe like they could hack it back open? I don't know, but they got out pretty quick, so I was really nervous about them not being able to get out. I was so scared that Steve was gonna die, like he was gonna sacrifice himself. Watching this season and waiting for 11 to finally like rejoin the crew was kind of hard. And when she finally left and went to the school, I was really excited for her to reunite with them. I thought maybe when Will was getting by the shadow monster, she was gonna shake him out of it, or she was gonna help him, but she saw Mike with Max and got jealous, and it was very upsetting. And then when Max introduced herself, Elle blew her off. It was really sad. Millie Bobby Brown barely got to do any scenes with the kids this season. Like, we have the dance scene, we have the scene where she walks into the school, but she only sees Mike from afar, and the end. And then at the end, she separates again to close the gap with Hopper. We also have this mystery of Papa, and if the Papa is actually dead or he's still out there. It's been too long since I watched season 1. I thought 11 killed him along with everyone else with her abilities, but I can't remember. I'm gonna have to rewatch season 1. I'd love to hear your thoughts, who your favorite character of the season was, what arc you found most interesting, if you agree with any of the things I said. Do you love Steve now? I'm Christine. I make videos every Tuesday. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I'm all up in there. My handle is @XTINEMAY Xtine May. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!